Happy Thursday, y'all. It's day 25 of Walk with Winston. I'm not walking right now because I'm at the Tampa Airport and I am getting ready for a flight home to Virginia to help celebrate my dad's 82nd birthday this weekend. So I'm very excited about that. You see that cool artwork behind me? Those planes with hearts on them. Seems like that should be at the Southwest terminal versus the American Airlines terminal, but I digress. So happy Thursday. Today on the drive over, I got to experience this first few times I've been using Lyft, and I'm really enjoying that service. The people who were driving the cars, very personable, very friendly, and on the drive over today, we were talking about how people come into our lives for a season and at the very right moment in terms of our transformation. So that's what I thought I would share with you today, a couple stories from my past, and hope to give you encouragement that on your path to transformation that there are people who are going to be put into your path and help you accelerate your transformation. So my first job out of college was a great example of this. I worked in the residence hall program. We talked about that yesterday, where I had been given leadership responsibilities for a couple of dorms, and my senior year I was in charge of a freshman women's dorm, which was a very unique experience, first time it had ever been done in the history of our university, where a man was in a freshman women's dorm and a woman was in a freshman men's dorm, and they tried that experiment my senior year, and worked out really well because I was seen as a big brother to all the women who were in our dorm. I was a good listening ear for them, and I was also as big as any of the frat guys who come pounding on the door after midnight, and so I could kind of chase them off if needed. So that worked out pretty well. And for the freshman men's dorm, they had a 36% decrease in vandalism because they didn't want to disappoint their big sister. When you have an older man as a head resident of the room, you just knew that they were in the same mischief you were as a freshman, so you kind of felt entitled, I guess, to be more mischievous. Anyway, so coming out of school, I really didn't have a good, clear picture as to what I would do. I knew that I liked working with small teams. I knew I had a heart for community service, but I really didn't have a clear picture of what to do. And we had a recruiter come onto campus with United Way, and at the time they had a management training program which was really geared to women and minority candidates to get them involved in United Way as a career. But I was so captivated by the idea of working with an organization that had one foot in the corporate world, one foot in the helping world. So I visited our little small town United Way, and Carol DeSamper, who was the exec at the time, said, well, this is not, this is a 3-person office. This is not what United Way is all about. So let me connect you with 2 people, one on either side, one in Richmond, Virginia, Larry Walton, and then one in Norfolk, Virginia, who's Gene Barris. Let me connect you with them, and that way you can actually see what this is all about and you can experience for yourself. And so, this, by the way, this is a tip for anyone who's looking for a new job. She counseled me on doing what's called an informational interview, where I wasn't coming in looking for a job, did not have a resume, but what I did with each of these gentlemen was to say, hey, I'm really curious about your organization and what a career in your organization would look like, and what you enjoy and don't, what you most enjoy about your career, what are the challenges you see in the industry, those kinds of things. And so I made a call and asked for 30 minutes of their time to ask them a few of those questions. So I was just curious. I didn't know much about the organization at all. And in both cases, they were super generous with their time. We went well over the 30 minutes I had scheduled. People so enjoy talking about a career that they love. And so it's a very low threat, very good way to get information about organizations, this informational interviewing technique. So I advise anyone who's looking to make a career change to take that as one of your first steps of action. But because Carol DeSamper came across my path. She introduced me to these two gentlemen who both were so enthusiastic about what they were doing and the potential for young people to get involved in United Way, that they wrote letters of endorsement and essentially got me into the program. It wasn't really designed for me, it was designed for a lot of other people, but it was essential. Those two endorsements got me in the door and got me into a program and launched me into an 18-year career with United Way, which forever changed my life. So that's one example. And then a more recent example is that when I was consulting, I was out doing consulting after my second career, and I was living here in Tampa and decided to attend a conference with United Ways that was going on nearby in Orlando. And I had decided just to kind of show up. I wasn't a registrant. I knew a lot of people. I just wanted to connect with some of my old friends in United Way. And so going there and walking up, I ended up connecting and seeing an old friend of mine, Bill Wood, who by that time had been the CEO of FrontStream for about 6 months. And I was very, very happy doing my consulting role and just happened to run into Bill at the conference in the hallway. And I remember I was debating, going back and forth, do I really go to this conference? That just seems too salesy, and am I really welcome there anymore? And it's a big inconvenience to drive over there and back every day, because I didn't have the money and didn't want to spend the money on such a lark. But running into Bill at that conference by, quote, accident, started a conversation where Bill was saying, here's the challenge we've got at FrontStream. We really need some leadership. We need people with your perspective. Would you send a resume? And I was like, I'm not interested. I've got a really good situation here in Tampa. I love working for myself and being an entrepreneur. And Bill, if you know Bill, he's very convincing. Now, Bill and I knew each other from a volunteer project 20 years before. And while we had run into each other from time to time over the years in the industry, it was that foundational work we had done 20 years ago, volunteering on a national task force, that gave us the context for working together today. And those two situations where people seem to seemingly randomly come across your path can propel you into significant transformation for the better. So today, my encouragement to you is, when you feel that nudge to take a step and to do something that's a little bit outside your comfort zone, or you get the same impression multiple times, know that's God trying to get your attention and trying to guide you on a path to people that can help you. I think one of the things I find most disturbing in our culture right now is this concept of the self-made person, as if I did it all myself. That is the biggest lie I think I've ever heard of. Anyone who is successful, anyone who has led people and has accomplished great things, I challenge you to tell me a person who's a self-made person and did it all by themselves. If you can show me that, then you can talk me out of this mindset and idea. But to me, these people who come across our path, these divine appointments that happen, are not me. They're not my doing. And the more I live, the more I recognize that these divine appointments can really change the trajectory of your life. So I hope that maybe I'm one of these people for you in a virtual manner, that I'm giving you the encouragement, the inspiration to prompt you to take action that will take you down a path that a few years from now you could never have imagined. I hope that's encouraging to you this morning. And with that, I hope you have a great Thursday. I'll talk to you again tomorrow from Chesapeake, Virginia.